Hi, I'm Joe, and I'm the accidental brewer.
Hi, I'm Gisela.
And she sometimes is an accidental brewer. Today she is not. She just wants you to know that for sure. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we're doing the Coffeemel V2, as I've called it, because I've already done one other this, and that was kind of all right. But this one has some raisins, some cinnamon, some cloves, some cardamom pods, and things like that in it. And it's been, we originally started it on October 9th, 2020, so it's been sitting in here for about through 2 months, the way it is. And we're just going to rack it over to a new setup, but so I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the racking just because I don't really like the way it is. So I'm going to rack it to a bucket and then move it over. It doesn't really want to go down there like that. All right, and then I'm going to move it over to the next vessel that we're going to put it in. This doesn't want to start. So this started at 1.09. I'm not sure if it's going to need any back sweetening or anything like that, but I did use EC118 yeast, which has an alcohol tolerance of up to 18%. So we'll see. The other one of these that I made was very acidic, and because of that, like adding any like milk or anything like that to it was really tough. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of lactic acid to this one to see if that will. It might add a little bit of sweetness to it. But it may also add a little bit of creaminess to it without having to add like milk or anything like that because of the high acidity. It could also bring the acidity level down for this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm a little worried about this one because up at the top it looked like it started to form some white stuff. I don't think that's mold. I think it's just where some of the stuff from the brew got like kind of up inside of it, but we'll see in a little bit. It may be bad. That's also why I'm racking it first to something else before I do anything, because if it's bad, I'm just going to pour it out. We'll see. It doesn't smell bad. It smells very nice. It's hard with the we did the Coffeemel video right before this one. Just ended up, what we could do before these things, and I still smell a lot of pepper out here. Does it smell bad to you?
Un poquito.
A little bit? Okay. I thought you weren't going to speak Spanish on the... Is it because it smells so alcohol-y?
No.
Is it the coffee smell that's kind of in there? You're going to be my assistants this time. To be clear, this one I don't think is done. Well, that one went down to 1.0. The other one only went down to 1.3. So 1.03. This one went down to 1.00. That's promising. Let's see how this... That is a very, very coffee. It has a lot of coffee flavor in it. It is a bit acidic though, so I think the spices work nicely with it though. There's some nice clove and cinnamon and cardamom, but I think it needs a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of this lactic acid. So I'm gonna bust this out. I haven't even opened it yet. I did sanitize the bottle. I dropped it down in sanitizer for a bit. So I have one of these little things. Normally people use syringes, but this will tell me how many I pull in. So I'm going to do 1 milliliter. It's up to there, right there. All right. Just to see how that affects the gallon. Taste it after I put that in there. Stir it very gently. Should put this back in there. And poured a little bit too much the first time. All right. See how that tastes? Okay. It didn't change the flavor too terribly much. I'm going to put 1 more milliliter in there and then mix it up, and then I'm going to put some honey in it. Just going to put like half a pound of honey. All right, that should be good. Right there. Mix that up. All right. I think I'm going to go for the Mountain Ridge. So originally I put some Happy Belly brand honey in this, and I like it and everything, but I have this Mountain Ridge honey that I haven't used yet, and I've got about 2 pounds here. And so should I put all 2 pounds in there?
That's going to be too much.
Well, so this is a very high alcohol tolerance yeast, and it's only gone to about 10%. It can go almost double that. I think I'm going to add it. I'll do the whole thing. We're going to see what happens. The worst thing that'll happen is that it gets a little too honey. But that's 2 pounds of Mountain Ridge honey. It's raw 100% Mountain Ridge honey. It's just, I thought it was a North Carolina honey, but I'm not sure now that I'm looking through it. Yeah, it's North Carolina honey from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So that's exciting. It's local honey, ish honey, local-ish. Winston-Salem isn't exactly too local to me, but gonna let that all come out. It's too much. I love how you looked at me worried. This is too much. You know what's the worst thing that'll happen if this doesn't taste good? I'll pour it out. But 2 pounds of honey will add about 7 points of gravity, so that'll put it about 1.16 to this, like for the original gravity. So that would mean that it could go up to about 1.6. Yeah, so it's probably gonna still be a little bit sweet, which is what I'm looking for. So there'll probably be about 2 points of gravity left with 2 pounds. That's why I put this in here, just to let you know. Because if the EC118 eats through this, then I'll still have a little bit of sweetness, plus possibly some creaminess from the lactic acid as it develops. And so, yeah, this could end up being like nice, super nice. The other one was all right. I just drank some of it the other day. It was all right, but it wasn't perfectly where I wanted it to go. So, all right, so we're going to take the gravity reading on this again since I added 2 pounds of honey to it. And that puts us back up at 1.07. So that added 7 points of gravity, roughly, to the brew. Now what I'm hoping will happen is that this will eat through 5 to 6 points of that gravity because it's EC118, and then it will leave a little bit of sweetness, maybe 1 point or 2 points of gravity, so it'll be a little bit back sweetened naturally. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. So if you want to go ahead and put all that in there, you could. So we put about 5, put like 3 cardamom pods, 5 peppercorns, 5 allspice berries, 1 piece of star anise, and a cinnamon stick in there, because I feel like the flavors just aren't quite enough in here. They're a little bit in there, but they're just not quite enough. So I want to bring them out a little bit more. Well, so now this is filling up with the Coffeemel. We're going to let it fill up a little bit, and I'm going to move the labels over and then document what we added and everything to it. So we'll catch you on the next side.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, so that's our second look at the Coffeemel V2. We added, just to kind of recap, moved it over, took it off the original lease. There was some white stuff in there and everything, a little bit worried about that. We moved it over, seems like it's all right. Added some honey to it, about 2 pounds. That moved it up past the yeast tolerance, alcohol tolerance of the yeast. Should be about 1.16 for an original starting gravity now. And if it eats all the way through that, we'll be at somewhere between 18 and 20% ABV, or like estimated ABV. We also added some more spices to this and a little bit of lactic acid, just to bring down some of the acid flavor in there to like a little bit less tannic. It's not as rough. So this has been the Accidental Brewer. Thank you so much for watching us, and we'll catch you next time. We have a Patreon and a Twitter. We'd love for you to engage us there. We also have an Instagram, and and we have comments. If you're following along with this recipe, I'd love to hear how you've been doing. Otherwise, thank you so much. Have a great time.